think you're good to go.
Okay. Well, welcome everybody, and thank you for, coming along. Oh, okay. Well, my name is Morgan Zenas. I'm a graduate Eportfolio assistant in the Eportfolio program here on campus. And a little bit about me, I am getting my master's in counseling, and I did my undergraduate at ODU as well. And you can contact the Eportfolio team with this email right here, so if you ever have any further questions, you can email that, and you can also make an appointment with me through my tutor. I'm located in the library, so you can, come on there, or you can do it through WebEx. So why have an ePortfolio? Eportfolios really create like a positive digital presence for you online. Employers do look for these and oftentimes Google you before offering you an interview. So these are really good, to kind of display your skills, achievements, and everything that you've learned in your program and different experiences that you've gained. It also promotes reflection. Things like using the blogs, putting your reflections. People do look for that, and they want to see what you've learned and everything from your program. Eportfolios really catch the eye and tell your story a little bit more. They kind of make you a person rather than being someone's resume or sitting on a desk somewhere like just another piece of paper. You don't want to be that. You want to be seen as an individual and see like someone should be able to look at these and like feel like they know you a little bit. So they really just kind of tell your future employer who you are. As of last fall in 2017, 68% of employers openly admitted to Googling you before even offering an interview. So this is, it's a really good tool and people really are looking for this. 4 out of 5 employers say that an ePortfolio is very useful for ensuring that their applicants do have these skills that they're looking for. It really shows more. So if you're doing something with engineering, you could have a video of you working on things. If you're an art major, you can have, getting an art degree, you can have, videos of you playing this. You can put pictures of yourself. It really just makes you a real person. The associate director of ePortfolios and digital initiatives actually told me a story once of her getting a job just based off her ePortfolio. She was at a conference and she was giving a presentation and someone looked her up and clicked through her ePortfolio and was just like, wow, I love you. I'd really love if you would come work for us. So these really are useful and they really can help you get a future job. So there's 2 types of ePortfolios. There's an archive ePortfolio, which is a digital collection of your work developed across varied contexts over time. This is something that you probably do all the time. Just saving your work in one location is an example of an archive ePortfolio. So saving them on your desktop is an archive ePortfolio. 2 things that we really support is Google Drive, Dropbox, and ODU, or 3 things, ODU Box. They're just a place to save all of your work. And it's really important because you never know what you might need. So you really do want to save all your materials. And then the Showcase ePortfolio is it's essentially almost like a website that you're creating for yourself. So ODU supports Wix and WordPress. There are a few others. There's Weebly and Google Sites. But I know that you guys are, I know you guys are working particularly with WordPress. So help future you. You really do want to save these materials. You might not even think that some of these things may be, useful in your future job hunt, but they really might become useful, and it would just be easier to have your work already saved. So, build your personal archive. I love Google Drive. This is a little screenshot of my Google Drive, but I really support Google Drive, and I think it's a really great tool, especially if you plan on creating a Showcase ePortfolio. ePortfolios really are a process. They can take some time, so you really do want to start now. Don't don't wait until you have more material to put into it. Like, just start now, because they can take some time, especially if you want to create a really well-built ePortfolio. So like I said, start saving your material, archiving, use Google Drive, use ODU Box, whatever platform works best for you, and just really start saving that. And, maybe start with one page at a time and slowly work on it over, a period of time. And every time maybe you gain a new experience, put it on there, update it, just constantly work on it. Similar to the way you would constantly work on your resume or your CV. So there's multiple types of ePortfolios. So there's the project or course, something that ePortfolio that's really representing what you feel like you learned from a particular class. And then there's the program ePortfolio, which is, multiple classes, multiple, things that you feel like you've learned from, your master's program or your PhD program, just the program as a whole. And then the professional, which can contain your, professional experiences, your extracurricular experiences, any awards, just anything that you feel like represents you as a professional. So this is just an example of the one that I'm currently working on. So I had a separate one as an undergraduate, and I just decided to revamp it by just making a complete new one because I switched kind of what I wanted my ePortfolio to represent. So this one, like I said, I am a counseling student, so I have my home page, and this is just a little screenshot of it. But this is a picture of me, and then I have my name, and if you scroll down on the page, I have a little brief bio about myself and a contact page, and then I have my personal philosophy, helping experience, the ePortfolio program, my CV, and then I have a little bit about my undergrad. And I only put that on there because this is my first semester in my master's program, and I didn't have as much experience, so I did want to represent my undergraduate a little more, but as I gain more experience in my master's program, I'll likely take that off. Okay, so we have a little activity. We're all going to go over an ePortfolio together, and then, pick a few things that you like from each ePortfolio, and maybe things that you didn't like as much. And then I'll give you guys a little bit of time to go through yours and just jot down things that you really do like, things that you like and want to incorporate maybe in your potential ePortfolio. So if you have this open, you can just click out on the link, or you can just type it into a web browser. Everyone can see that, right?
You want to put the link back up, though.
Oh. Right.
There you go.
Do you think that's good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, so this is the ODU ePortfolio gallery. It starts with the ePortfolio assistants. You can look at student portfolios, and then we have faculty and admin, which might represent what you're looking for a little bit more. So we'll look at Megan's.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I said, we'll just go through this together really quickly, and then I'll give you guys the opportunity. I'll pull that link back up so you can see it, and then you can click through a couple of different ones and just write down things that you really like and that you maybe want to incorporate. So here she has a nice picture of herself and her about me. She actually has her, saying the about me recorded, so you can just listen to it if you'd like to. She has lots of things in the ePortfolio program. We'll click one. She has some things about the program, her self-assessment. workshops. She has the material uploaded directly into this. Pictures. Under initiatives, lots of charts, very visual. Different courses that she's taught. There's a syllabus directly into it. And a link to the course materials. Various presentations. Different research. We have an interactive media right here. And then her CV. And then the contact page. So that was this link. So it gives you different ODU ePortfolios. This one is just a showcase to multiple universities, and you can click from there and kind of look through a bunch of different ePortfolios, with Old Dominion being on here as well. So I'll give you guys a little bit of time to click through that and then kind of jot down things that you really like. On the link, Bentley/EP Showcase, this is what the site looks like. And there's actually graduate ePortfolios. My favorite one out of these three links is this one right here. It takes you to a lot of really good graduate ePortfolios. Has everybody had a chance to kind of look through a couple different e-portfolios? Okay. Does anybody want to share maybe their thoughts and opinions on a few e-portfolios? Maybe what did they expect to see, and if they got to see those things, and what do they think works? Different things like that.
I just have one inquiry.
Yeah.
What does it? I mean, how does it how is it distinguished from a normal LinkedIn or other professional platforms? I mean, why is it different from LinkedIn, for example?
Megan, do you wanna?
Yeah, so I'm going to use this. Folks at a distance need to hear us. So the question was,
I think you turned it off.
yeah, there we go. The question was, how is a portfolio different from LinkedIn? And the answer is that it depends on your discipline and the field you're in, whereas LinkedIn certainly has some cultural cash. A portfolio is more cultivated by you than others. Like, other people are verifying you have skill sets, but in a portfolio, you're demonstrating the work and skills you claim you have, whereas LinkedIn doesn't really have that ability. So that's you'll see a lot of people connect their portfolio to their LinkedIn account.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Hold on. Were there anything in the portfolios you guys liked?
Yes, I also I'm impressed with. I'm impressed with.
Is that turning on?
Yeah, it was on.
It's on.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, I was impressed with how friendly environment is it. I mean, you can showcase everything you did and your achievements and everything in a nice way, not in this plastic image LinkedIn. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does. It really demonstrates a little bit more about who you are. It makes you more, of a person. Anybody else?
There was an example that I liked quite a lot from Stanford. Anna Tolindo. I'm trying to drop the link in. But she has a landing page. I'm trying to find it. Where she says, questions that drive me. Right? And as graduate students, a lot of times we're research heavy. But she sets up the work you're going to see in her portfolio. And a lot of times we'll see folks not introduce their portfolio, to just throw out a ton of work that has no context for anyone. And I thought the fact that she foregrounds her research questions is particularly compelling as a researcher. So, I thought she did a really excellent job, and I had a really good grasp of who she was as a professional from that. See if I can find that link.
Yeah, I was looking for it.
Thank you. There's a couple. Oh, yeah. Here, she's the historian who does museums. Yeah, so when I read those, I knew exactly the kinds of scholarship I'm going to see her doing. I had a good grasp of her field because she's actually in the history of science, which is a very narrow field, actually. And then if you click the find out more, she ties that very explicitly to her professional identity. And then I see experiment with interactive technologies, which isn't the first thing I would have thought of as history of science, but, so... the more I went, the more I wanted to know about her. Which is good as an employer, right? So.
Anybody else?
It was actually one of the first ones I caught was Liesel Alice Murdoch Piera. That's a lot of names. I'll share that here. Those. It's kind of interesting because it had a great tagline, which showed up well on the portfolio showcase. Very, I don't know, I call that clickbaity.
Sure.
That got my attention.
Would you read it out for the distance folk?
Yeah, it's just on the kind of the tagline on her landing page says, I understand that, but you don't believe me that I understand that. It goes on to say, this comment from a student was the turning point in my career, which is dedicated to, I guess I should start again now that I've turned the microphone on. I understand that, but you don't believe me that I understand it. This comment from a student was a turning point in my career, which is dedicated to enhancing and researching the ways in which we teach, understand, and interact with students. Teaching, collaborative research, and autonomous research inform my interdisciplinary work in education. Like the tagline, I'm not really sure I get a great idea from that page what those things mean. So that's kind of a middle case, I guess I would say. It's kind of teaching, collaborative research, and autonomous research seems pretty vague to me. Unlike the the one that you pointed out with the research questions on the front page. Sort of makes you wonder about the rhetoric of why they put the showcase together the way they did. But
Her purpose could be title.
some of them have very nice pictures, and the pictures are very interesting and show up well, but that's a dead link.
Okay. Well, so a great way to start with building your ePortfolio is planning your general structure of the ePortfolio. So the PFF template is available on WordPress. So this is the actual menu bar that they have. So these are the different pages that are available on that. But you can go far beyond that. So I'd really love to give you guys just an opportunity to kind of set up how you would want your WordPress built and maybe different things that you would want to see incorporated within your own.
I suppose that would depend almost entirely on who your intended audience was for the portfolio and what you were trying to accomplish.
Very, yeah.
Yeah. Because you put all your events on there.
What does engagement mean?
I would assume student engagement, maybe professional engagement.
Dr. Yusuf, those are the categories she wants on the template for PFL completion.
Interesting.
Let me pull it up, see what she defines that as.
They're subcategories. I mean, teaching and research seem pretty obvious, right? Like I think most of us have teaching and research, and everybody's got a CV.
Engagement?
Yeah, we're wondering about engagement.
Oh, engagement? I think the engagement is more like how you communicate with the immediate community and how you help, like advising and mentoring the students and contributing to the campus life with different like offices in the school, or engaging with the community. Like you might be engaging with military or some hospitals. some aid, like maybe Red Cross or things like that. So have you voluntarily engaged, mostly pro bono, these kind of activities, I believe?
I think in certain fields we'd probably call it service.
Service.
Right, yeah. Absolutely. And I see on her template, Dr. Youssef describes it also as like the membership in organizations. Yeah, as well, in addition to.
5-year plan. It's the hardest one.
It really is.
What is this 5-year plan? What's her 5-year plan?
How she describes those.
Is it empty?
No, she's got a blurb there.
Can we ask technical questions?
Yeah.
We're just waiting for something?
I'm sorry.
Does everyone have a few pages that you might add to what we's got there?
Would you like to share?
Sure.
Anything that you might add to this menu?
Oh, adding. I think it's here.
Does anybody else have anything?
Yeah, I would say, because somehow, I mean, for research, if we have like professional projects to add, I would say if we can add projects.
Yeah.
Maybe publication if you do any.
Yeah.
Grant work. I mean, I recognize that's under research, but you could break that out. You could make sub-pages.
You could add a teaching philosophy.
Yep. Specific courses. I'd put awards recognitions on there.
I have a related employment section depending on your field. You know, if you're an engineer or somebody, or in my case, a technical writer who's worked outside of academia. I don't know if I'd put that under its own tab or maybe under About Me or I don't know, something. I might get rid of the 5-year plan.
Yeah, when you're done with PFF, that's possible.
Anybody else? Okay, well, I did want to run over the ePortfolio support that you guys have. The ePortfolio assistants sit in Learning Commons 1313. You can make an appointment with them online or you can drop in person Monday through Friday. We also have tutorials on the ODU ePortfolio website. So if you run into a little bump on the road and you don't feel like coming all the way to see us, the tutorials are also a really good option. Slack is something that we've recently started where you can interact with an ePortfolio assistant. You go right on the website and you can message them directly. And then we also, our social media is at ODU ePortfolio. We post things like tutorials and future workshops that'll, we have a future workshop coming up in on November 20th, that will go more in depth with the PFP and PFF, ePortfolio. So you can, kind of work on it a little bit more for that one. And we'll be posting that on our social media. And then lynda.com is also a really great resource with lots of tutorials on WordPress and Google Drive and different things like that. Yeah.
All right. No, go ahead.
So when we establish something, a baseline, we want to control if we are on track. So I did this website, ePortfolio. How do I track who is seeing me, my statistics, am I getting right attraction from right people? Is there an evaluation for this? Like behind the doors working statistics?
I do
Like
not know.
like in the when you create a website or a blog, you can see which part of world is clicking on you, click through rate, click on rate. Even what hours of the day they looked at your website, and can we get feedbacks? Can we get alerts like, okay, your 5-year plan is not 5-year past now. Make another 5-year plan. So things like that. Do we have a control mechanism?
Yeah, she's looking because I know a little more about the plugins and such.
Okay.
That's a little more advanced. I don't think that as of right now, like on the ODU WordPress instance, that there's a way to notify you when you need to update a 5-year plan. But there is a way to
Just
track.
an example.
Yeah. But there are ways to track analytics. You can use plugins and stuff to talk about traffic to your site and things like that. Certainly, if you use a different platform like Wix or a lot of people use Weebly, they also have the ability to do some of that. You just have to activate it and such. So
what are we using here?
So what she's demonstrating for PFF is
WordPress.
Yeah, it's WordPress.
Okay.
Because you can activate the template that Dr. Yusuf wants you to use, but it's to get your feet wet to start that process. And then as you think about it, you can either take that template and totally change it in the future to be what you need it to be, or you can move it elsewhere, and work on a different platform. But, like as someone who has recently graduated a doctoral program here, I like things that are free and I like things that move with me. And WordPress can be exported, so it doesn't stay at ODU. You can take it with you as well. So, but at least as you're building it, ITS can help you if something goes wrong. So, so there's a number of reasons why they use that. But we'll talk about that in November, where we do really more. Dr. Yusuf asked this to be an overview, and she asked for the next one to be really tech heavy.
Okay.
Did you have a question?
So is the next one what's the target audience for the next event? Is that designed for, hey, I have nothing, we're starting from ground zero and building our first page together, or is it?
Yes, it will be starting from the very beginning, activating the template, and going from there. If everybody happens to have all their templates activated, we can start a little farther, but we plan to start right at the beginning, step by step.
Okay.
When is that?
That will be November 20th.
In the same room?
Yeah, same time, location.
So obviously we're working in the template, we would need to bring
Laptops.
Yes, bring your laptops.
You can do it on your phone, but it's harder. It's a lot harder.
Does anybody else have any more questions? Anything they want to go over? All right, well, thank you everybody for coming to this workshop, and I really look forward to hopefully seeing everybody on November 20th.